Hi guys, today we are here with Captain Mike Hudson. Welcome, Captain Mike.
Glad to be here.
Nice to have you.
And today we are talking about salmon and the problems that have been, associated with it, and just about, how it's affecting our communities and our ecosystems and all that. So
And how important it is to us.
Exactly. So first of all, I hear you're a captain. What kind of captain are you, and what do you do?
I'm the captain of a commercial salmon fishing boat. I fish the California coast essentially from Monterey in the south to Fort Bragg in the north.
Wow. I've never even met a captain before, so tell me about your daily life. What do you do?
I fish. I fish a lot, yes. When I can, I used to fish a lot. Today, the story is a little bit different, but my average day is I start the engine up at about 4 in the morning, make myself a cup of coffee, and head out there for about 3 days at a time, and try to catch as many fish as I can and bring them back in on the 4th day, unload, get some groceries, get some fresh laundry, and head right back out if the weather allows it.
So we have heard some things about this organization called SalmonAid.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain a little bit about what that is and how you're affiliated with it?
Well, everybody's heard about the problems that our salmon are facing today. Our salmon season this year might be totally shut down for the California coast, for most of Oregon, and for Washington State, because we have no more Sacramento salmon left, at least not enough to have a fishery of. Our fish returns on the Sacramento River dropped down from over 800,000 fish about 3 or 4 years ago to less than 100,000. I think the final number I heard today was 59,000 salmon that are expected to be out there. And that doesn't leave enough for us to catch. Where we see similar problems on the Klamath River, where at the turn of the century we used to have about 1 million fish come back to that river, and nowadays we have a hard time getting 35,000 fish coming back. The Columbia River, which used to be the mother of all salmon rivers on the whole coast, millions and millions of fish came back, and today it's everything's in the dumps. So we formed a coalition of people, really good people. Some commercial fishermen, some sport fishermen, some First Nation fishermen, some environmentalists who work on river restoration, and we're all getting together to host a big festival. That's going to be an annual festival, but our first one is going to be on May 31st and June 1 of 2008 at Jack London Square in Oakland, and we're going to work really hard on bringing all the problems that we're seeing, that our problems are having today, into the light.
Right.
With there being so little salmon left, what does that mean for all these restaurants that serve salmon? I know a lot of people who really love salmon, and what does that mean for you as a fisherman?
Well, for me as a fisherman, that probably means I'm going to be unemployed this year, which is a pretty bad deal, right? What it means for the restaurants and for you. This is your fish too, as much as it's mine. I'm not just catching it for my own gain. I'm catching it so that you can go to the fish market and buy a half a pound, or you can go to the restaurant and order your nice wild salmon dinner and have a really good time with it. And this is all gonna essentially go away this year if we don't do anything really drastic, really quick. And that's why I'm here today talking with you two.
Yeah.
So I know there are a lot of problems that you were talking about that have caused the salmon population to go down, but can you just hit on some of the main problems that have been causing them to die?
The main problems, since I'm a California fisherman, I'm going to talk about what I see from my perspective here first, and that's the Sacramento Delta, where our governor has, over the last 3 years, pumped record amounts of water out of the river system to farms and residences in Southern California. We have, over the last 3 years, pumped 30% more than ever before in history, and what's happening because of that is the food chain is dying from the bottom up. Plankton, which is the bottom of the food chain, everything in the water eats plankton. It has about a 5-day lifespan. It gets born and it lives for about 5 days before it can reproduce. But it's not going to happen if we overturn every last drop of water in the delta every 3 days. So that's 2 days short of what the food chain needs. And that's why we're seeing this big salmon decline in our Sacramento fish right now. Fishermen all the way up and down the coast, be they commercial fishermen or sport fishermen, catch Sacramento River salmon because we have the biggest salmon run on the west coast that comes out of the Sacramento these days. In other rivers, you have other problems. The Klamath River has 4 dams on the lower part of the river. These dams have been built without fish passage. The reservoirs are very shallow. They heat up in the summertime to temperatures that are not good for our salmon. Algae grows in these reservoirs that eats up all the oxygen that the fish, they breathe in the water, right? If there's no oxygen in the water, the fish can't breathe. You go up to the Columbia River, very, very similar story where there's 4 dams on the lower Snake River that close off hundreds or maybe even thousands of miles of spawning habitat. And so from these ginormous numbers of salmon that we used to have at the turn of the century, it has all shrunk down to next to nothing today.
Yeah, and it's crazy how not even that many people know about this problem.
Yeah. And it seems like, to me anyways, that a lot of these problems, well, the majority of them are man-made. Like you said, the dams and our, rerouting the waterways and things, like all of those problems that we feel are making our communities better are really, really harming our salmon population.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is they are man-made problems, and if man makes the problems, man can fix these problems, right? So with a little bit of common sense, if we all go about it and then get together and tell our legislators, we need these dams gone. We need you to stop delivering so much water to water thirsty crops like cotton in the Central Valley. We need the spawning habitat opened up. We need to make sure that we do the right thing for the salmon. These salmon will come back. They're a very resilient species. They've been on our coast for millions of years, and they have survived droughts. They have survived natural catastrophes and all of that. So if we give them half a chance, they'll just spring right back.
And it's also interesting to think that this isn't only an environmental issue, like it's social and political too. I know you were talking about how legislation has gotten into this and stuff, and how people depend on the salmon to make a living like you do. And it's just, you have to think about that, how it's all connected.
Something we all have to realize, yeah.
I got friends from the Karuk tribe who live on the Klamath River, and they tell me that because of these salmon declines in recent years, their food that used to come from the river now comes from Safeway. And instead of eating salmon, they eat stuff that's high in fats, sugars, and starches. And they're seeing very drastic increases in heart disease and in diabetes, way more than any other population in the country. I mean, it's like maybe everybody's seen an increase in these kind of diseases like that, and the Karuk Nation sees it like that, and it's killing them.
Yeah.
It's killing the people.
So if any of our viewers want to learn a little bit more about this and your organization that you're affiliated with, what is the website that they can go to?
The website is SalmonAid.org.
Okay.
You're going to blend that in?
Yes.
SalmonAid.org.
Yes.
Come visit us, come join us, come to the festival, and it's like if you felt like donating $10, $5, $100, a couple of thousand, we'll gladly take it and we'll put it to some really good use.
Well, it was great having you on the show.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And we hope to see you all out there.
Yes.